Hi YouTube. How are you? I'm doing all right. Oh, it was kind of a long day. I was washing windows and putting curtains up and that type of thing, washing curtains and kind of in the middle of it still. So just doing my outside work and some inside stuff, and so I was in the middle of doing that, and I was going to give Karen a call. I told Doug, I said, I just feel like she needs me to call her. And I usually don't call people. So that was very odd. So I had the phone in my hand. He was going out the door and he kept talking. And pretty soon, like my stuff in the dryer's about ready to come out. And then I had to go out and feed my animals. And it's like, I can't prove that it was intentional, but it just really sucked. And Karen, I just felt you being lonely today and I was going to call you. So when I find time coming up here, um, I will do that one of these days coming up. So, and that's the truth. I had the phone in my hand. I had to go put it back down. He's like, "Well, I wasn't finished talking," and I just walked away. It's like, hey, because he's talking car shit, and I mean, I used to sit and listen to it, and I know more about cars than most guys, but I don't divulge his conversations like that, if you hear what I'm saying. So, whatever. But it was intentional. So, no matter what anybody says, there you go. But anyway, so I did get my, not everything done, but I got what I wanted to get done. So, um, I'm watching this guy again. His name is Carl Munck, Munck. I've got the code, it's called. I've got the full movie of all his work on um my playlist. Well, it's a part that says check this out. It's got a picture of Stonehenge on it. So even though if you're not into his new mathematics, figuring out the pyramids and everything else, and all the other researches that combine that they work together, that type of thing. Well, this is his work primarily, and I was into it like many years ago, and I read about this type of thing in the white papers anyway. But just refreshing my memory, and it's not that I'm a mathematician, because by no means, I'm good at it. I was a dealer. I mean, I can count for sure, you know, and all the normal stuff. Um, a little more maybe, but I mean, I get the gist of what he's saying with the mathematics of the olden ages, with all the earthworks that are around. And I know he knows it too, that they are used for the voice to skull technology that they use against us to control us, Um, although becoming aware of that and where these monuments are located, like I've been trying to tell you, around my house, these hills around my house are significant. If you came into the valley I live in and looked up, um, there's a very odd feeling here. It's one of them places, I mean, it's not a bad feeling, it's just odd. Um, Hard to explain. But like I was explaining, like people with gabled roofs and stuff, they literally use this to um, communicate in the ether. And that's what these earthworks, and like I was saying, them changing the natural ley lines and cutting down the giant sequoias and redwoods and all the giant trees, like 500, 600 foot tall trees, you know, were our communications on this planet. And they knew that, and the animals and everything. I mean, It's just like taking away sunlight or taking away air. Things can't live without the things our bodies need, and they know that. The same with what they would call like the circadian rhythm, um, our rhythm in our system. When they change that, we suffer, and they know that. So that's what these things are literally used for. Um, if, say, an Illuminati member is like your great aunt or something, and she gives you a ring, and you have God in your heart, you put that ring on, they're using that electric on your finger to control you. The same with earrings, the same with necklaces, especially metal, but plastic, which most our clothes are. So what I'm trying to say is making yourself aware of where these structures are as much as you can is probably a really good idea to understand. And like I said, highways with rebar, railways, telecommunications, fiber optics, anything that can conduct electricity, bodies of water. He was just speaking on how some of these were built by bodies of water, and he was wondering if it was like leading the people like us in later times to these ancient springs and stuff that are like in my yard right under my house. Literally is artesian. Well, there's more than one on this property, but there's and it's spooky. You can feel the water, you can literally feel it under you. um but that's another story. But anyway, getting back to Carl Munck and his mathematics and stuff, if you just watch it, and he's got a real soothing voice, and he is a Christian, and he throws in some scripture with, just like that, isn't it? Or doesn't that seem like biblical times? Or like Noah or something he was just talking about, some structures that are in Florida. And so I would thoroughly recommend, don't worry about the math. If you're not into learning a new mode of math, that isn't the issue with his program. What is the issue is his knowledge behind the mathematics and why he made this show so everybody will know. It's not just so you know the dimensions of the pyramid. It's so you know what that pyramid did. So, down to the millimeter in things, he was able to put measurements on things and figure things that regular mathematics that they teach us will not do, and that's why they couldn't figure it. So, he figured it, and he found the ancients' codes and formulas and how they correlate with other structures perfectly mathematically around our planet. So, knowing these things are imperative. It's so important. I couldn't stress it enough. Just watch them. Just listen to it. Don't worry about the math. Just watch to learn the structures, which you probably heard a lot of them or know a lot of them anyway. And you might have even heard of this guy before. But let me know if you check them out and what you think, because this is kind of part of what I'm doing out here is trying to show everybody that this is the technology, everything in the world that carries any kind of power, and that could be your shoes, um, can be used against you by this, what he calls matrix. I prefer network or web. Web is more appropriate, you know. So, not web as in internet web, but webbing as in trap, you know. So, So I think it's really important for you to share that Carl Munck video that's down there and watch it, and maybe just watch little bits at a time. Take a week to do it or something, like 10 minutes a day, even. And when you go back, like I said, ignore the math. Just listen to what the guy's saying about the structures and how they're positioned on our planet. And I told you why. So um, it's really not only interesting and fascinating, but to know that Satan had so many centuries before people were aware of his electricity that that was how they got many, many steps ahead with their evil, was with electronic power that we didn't have. That's why they want to push this gasoline thing. And that brings another thing to mind too, because they say, oh, where we're going short on oil and all this baloney. There's a ocean. I saw maps, oceans. I was going to be a seismographer out in the oil field. So, and I had friends that did all this, and I saw maps that are with the Williston Basin all the way coming to Minnesota, all the way over to the Rocky Mountains, and up into Canada, and all the way down to Mexico, and way in the southern United States. There's an ocean layer of oil in the United States, enough to last for hundreds of years. They drill these wells, they cap them, they hire guys to drill the wells, then they cap them and they let them set, so they're there whenever they need them. And then they say there isn't enough, or there's a shortage here, or this, when it's all just a game, a bullshit game of who's got the oil. It's just a game to keep control of the people and to give us filthy running machinery. There goes another subject. I heard somebody said that Robin was running out of fuel. Oh, that's freaking hilarious. When you Illuminati's run out of fuel, God'll still have electric. When you have God in your heart, you are never at a loss for words. And you don't have to use other people's either. So, yeah, don't worry about Robin's Hood running out of subject matter. That'll never happen. Besides that, when you got good friends and they have great ideas, you always have something to talk about between yourselves. And the heck with everybody else. I'm sure a lot of you would agree to that, you know. There's some people you listen to on here because they're speaking the same language. You can understand them. You don't have, there's no confusion, you know. That's the same with this Carl Munck. Even without the mathematics, and you'd be surprised what you do pick up just by listening. But like I say, if you're not into math, just go in with the idea that you're going to ignore the math. That's what I did the first time I listened to him. Well, this is now the third time I've seen this information, or more actually. But my understanding of it is it's like even more simple than the math we were taught in school. This guy, just like I'm talking, teaches you like it's a breeze. It's unbelievably simplistic when you think about it, or don't, you know. But anyway, it's very interesting. And oh yeah, I had somebody ask me about that footprints video, Justin who. My apologies one more time. Justin Michael, he's a really bright young man with God in his heart. That's Justin who. And I have another Justin with God in his heart that watches me too. Peace. So yeah, um, my apologies for being vague about it and not clarifying it. So there you go. um, let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, then Robin had a video about people were saying, well, the old thing, like if you don't know of Jesus Christ, like you'll die in sin, and people debate whether if babies are baptized, whether or people, whether they're going to go to hell. The law of God, Christ is in our blood. It's written on our hearts. We all know right from wrong. Doesn't matter if it's a bushman over in Africa. He has the Trinity inside of him just like everybody else, no matter what they call it. He feels good or bad within himself and feels that on his heart just like anybody else. So these people are running around saying, well, if you don't know Jesus, well, they don't have the word for that feeling, but they most certainly know that either God or Satan lives in your mind's eye. It just depends on what's in your heart. So, yeah. These people play their games because they're dirty inside and they want to play and try and make other people stumble because it makes them feel better about themselves. Seriously, if they can trick somebody or if they're really just that damn ignorant, but I don't buy that shit at all. I know I never have. If somebody's like, oh, well, I didn't know. No, you either are good or you're bad. Take your MF and pick, you know? So, and thank you to RB for putting through videos. Um, Roseanne Barr is in Israel and sent, oh, the wall, I think it's called the West Wall, and the um, scripture and about the end days and everything. Her son and her are over there. And she showed us what she had for breakfast, and because that is her homeland. So how interesting and how cool is that? That's very cool, you know. And she is such a nice lady. You know, there was a time when I saw the Roseanne show, and I thought, what? No way. This is like way too backwoods. Like I grew up like this. So I don't want to watch this. But then I was going through a divorce and I saw the movie She Devil. Oh God, was that it just was so funny. And the funny thing about it, well, yeah, I'll tell you everything, don't matter. My ex showed up that day and I just started dating Doug and he goes, how about a kiss for old time's sake? And I'm like, get out of here. We're watching a movie, go away, you know. But that was funny. But the funniest thing about it is this movie did what I wanted to do. The movie just did it. So it just like made my day. And then I saw her acting skills. And then I couldn't get this is like one of my movies. The two that I love the very most is Steve Martin, The Jerk, was my all-time like young person film. That was how I felt. But my adult life, um, Roseanne Barr and She Devil. Man, that's the best movie, or I should say, woman. It's just so wonderful. Her and her list and the things she's gonna do and cross off, and oh, what good writers! And there couldn't have been a better actress for that part. What a bold, beautiful woman. If you guys have not, if people, I should say, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen that movie, watch it. Oh, it's so good. It's good. I love it. Meryl Streep's in it too, but it's like, so what? Chicken butt. She's not the star of that show, not my eyes. So actually, I only watch it for one person. Well, no, there's a little lady. Oh no, I can't remember her actress name, but I think her name is Parker on there. Well, she was a little nurse in a retirement home that got on the bus with Roseanne's character and oh geez, now that makes me want to think of her name. Oh, but anyway, the little lady had money saved up so she could put it towards She Devil starting a business to help women that needed help in life, and so they were in positions then in society where they could help her succeed in the things that she wanted to do. So, yeah, like one hand washing the other, and it was just, oh, perfect. Totally perfect. So, yeah, one of my favorite movies for real. Well, I mean, I have other ones that I love too, like Hannibal, for instance. That's a really good movie. And Silence of the Lambs. That's good. And I like some nice movies too, like Sound of Music and whatever, but in some ways that's not so nice either. So, yeah. Anyway, I do believe Roseanne Barr still is actually a farmer, if I'm not mistaken. She grows macadamians and pineapple in Hawaii. I think so, but I could be wrong. But I do believe I. No, I saw her out on a four-wheeler looking over her land and she was talking. I think that's exactly right. So, anyway, I didn't know she was on YouTube till a few days ago, or like yesterday. Seems like forever now. But anyway, yeah, she's on here. So, how cool is that? I always thought she should be making money. Like do a little show, even talking to people should pay her just because she's deserving of that. Man, she got screwed over in the media big time. I don't know if you know about that, but here I'll give you, for instance, there was I don't know his name because I really don't like him, and I heard him even talk. I didn't like looking at him the way he sat. There was this comedian. He had made, it's a guy, he had made like racist jokes. That's A-OK. But Roseanne made one, and they came down on her so hard, canceled her show, put Mary Steenburgen in there, and it's like, what? You can't have the Connor show without Rosanna? Are you out of your minds? That'd never work. So yeah, it flopped. It's a flop. She can just talk on here to people and we'd love her more all by herself. She doesn't need anybody else to be humorous or sweet because that's just who she is. So, so if you guys aren't subbed to her or want to go look at, she doesn't have long videos. They're like a minute or less, or some are more, and she has some of her shows there um, on her playlist and whatnot. But just kind of cool if you want to see a little bit of what's going on in her life because she's on our side, and that's why they're against her. You see, so um, yeah. They don't like us ones that sit up and say, hey, I don't like the way you're treating people here. I don't like this. I don't like that. Oh, you don't like it? Well, then we're going to miss you over. Just you wait, Missy. So that's what they did, you know. But I have a feeling she's going to be back out here in a big way. And you go, Roseanne. Not go, but come on, bring it on. You tell him, lady. Because, I mean, if I could find that person that gave the go ahead to mess you over, I'd take a big squirt bomb of water and just blast them right in their face as I say, you're a really crappy person. You know, that's how I feel, protective over that. People, people that are out here actually helping other people's hearts and talking to them and sharing their time and being real human beings, caring about other people in that respect, do deserve respect. And I feel protective over them and over you. You know, I really do. I get a little hot under the collar when I see somebody being treated dirty. I want to do something about it. And it's just my natural instinct. I can't help it. That is exactly who I am. So I'll never see something wrong go down and not do something about it. And if I can't personally do something about it, I'll ask God to make sure somebody else does. So one way or another, it'll be addressed. I don't let anything go ever. I'll never see anything wrong and let it go. No, I won't. I can't. It's against my religion. What's my religion? Don't hurt good people. That's my religion. And I am religious about that. Adamant. Like nobody you have ever met. So, anyway, so I really just wanted to get on here and just cover that Carl Munck thing. He does have shorter videos, but I would suggest the whole shebang so you can get the gist of what he's trying to teach us, which is how they use electronics against us in the biggest way, inside and outside of the earth, than you have ever imagined, unless you already know about it. And if you do know about it, but don't know much, this is the guy that you should really hear, my opinion. Other people aren't the scientist on that. His proof of in the mathematics is exactly what it is. Just like I can prove stuff with words. People say something or do something, I'm like, oh, okay, well, there you go. How about that? Proof, you know? That's how you can prove the scriptures with actual words, going to the root or what it actually means, even in another definition of it, could be the actual definition, maybe not the first one that comes into our mind, you know. So if you have like bunny and you'll look it up and it'll say small uh, rodentia like, but it's not a rodent. It's a small mammal that's rodentia like in tooth, small furry animal that's rodentia like. And then, like, the third definition will be hair, and then it'll say as in having hair. You see where I'm going? So it could even be like the third definition of something, even in the scriptures, and even in another language, might make the most sense than our English, because that's how they hid all that stuff. So reading with our heart really is important. It's just kind of like listening to this mathematician, uh, best best math teacher I ever met. I hope you give it a try. Like I said, if you're not into learning anything, it doesn't matter. Just listen to him. He's got a soothing voice. Like maybe check your email and just have him in the background and see where these structures are located, the ones that they do know of, because there's ones like around my house that are overgrown with forest and grass, but it's here. So um, that I needed everybody to know, and how they use the waterways and the oceans and everything. So bear that in mind. It's really important to know how your enemies are attacking you. So, I mean, I got a thing on jewelry, a video about it, about how they'll use, even when they're talking, like to hypnotize, or they'll have a lapel shiny something or another, so they can direct their energy away from themselves through metals. So like, say if I was gonna lie to you, and then, okay, I'm a blonde. You see what I mean? For a second, that word and the lighter were there together. Do you see? And that's how they use with their jewelry to, when they're speaking, and the conduction that they get through Satan with that, either for themselves, on themselves, if they wear a lot of it, or against people, you know. So beware of people giving you jewelry for real, you know. It's painful. Hats can be painful. Anything. The indications of, like, okay, there's the 13 um, inch long chain, 13 links in a chain for dressing a woman's bosom, is indicating that they are a bride of Satan. If they're wearing the choker, they are, he can do anything to them. They're masochistic. If they're wearing, like, say, a 14-inch, they're like in between. Silver and gold have indications of silver being more in the witchcraft, gold being more one of power, um, and all the different gems and stones, and they all have different frequencies with inside themselves. The same with the metals, and how they're um like like the gold, how many carats is it, and the way they are fashioned in the structure, or like if it's in a setting, what type of setting is it in, has a lot to do with energy conduction. And same with your homes, your vehicles. There's not anything they don't use. So, okay, I think that's probably about it for tonight. I just wanted to make you aware of those structures around the world. They can be natural, unnatural, but the ones that Satan had set up um, will be taken over by God's energy, because he's going to be losing his, and the Illuminati will literally be homeless. So when their minds don't work, because of the power that will be directed at the few from the many. They're gonna be hurting for certain. See, people though are trying to conduct good and bad energies, but it doesn't work like that. God works through us. We don't have to search out anything or do anything. We literally are like here for him to use like a tool in these times, or at the people that aren't for him, because I'm going to name this video, How Do You Make God Cry? What do you do that makes God cry? I know the things I do. I'm just asking you, because I'm aware, you know, so, or not. um, I don't mean or not, I'm not aware. I mean, I really don't do a whole lot wrong. I smoke. Does that make me vain because I'm kind of borderline perfect? No, not proud either. Really grateful and thankful that I am good. Not at every moment, no, because I have anger issues. Not ones that I can't control, but yeah, lucky people, you know. But I don't have to. I'm sure I'd be forgiven if I beat up some badass creep hurting somebody and just slapped it to the ground and stepped on its leg, you know. I was going to say throat, but that's a little severe. But I don't know, if it was really dangerous, I'd have to take it out, make sure it doesn't move, that type of thing. So yeah, I'm capable. What can I say? You got to do what you got to do. And if anybody would stand by and let somebody get hurt and not jump in and do something, you'd have to be out of your mind. So that's just the way I feel about that. What can I say? And yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I'm jumping in and doing something about it. So, oh, it's very cold here. Be about 20 below tonight, and it's been windy, so windy. The wind doesn't know what direction it's coming from. So, and it snowed last night a little bit, and the night before. So, okay, everybody, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for joining me, and peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.